What's up everyone, it's your girl Shay here. Welcome to my channel if you are new. Welcome back to my channel if you've been here before. And as you can see by the title of today's video, this video is going to be a little bit different. So usually what I do is a monthly wrap-up video of the anime and manga that I finished during this particular month or whatever month that we are currently in, and what I plan to watch and read for the next month. But since it is December, I've decided that instead I'm going to do my favorite anime and manga that I finished during the year 2021. So these are going to be multiple anime and multiple mangas as well, because I of course did finish a lot and I enjoyed a lot. So let's get started with this list. And of course the first thing I'm going to start out with is of course going to be anime. I have 5 anime on this list. This is also including anime movies that I also watched during this year. So let me get started with what I have currently on this list. I have it on my phone here, so if I'm looking down, that is why. So for the first anime we have on this list, it is Haikyuu. So I actually ended up watching Haikyuu on, I believe, both Netflix as well as on VRV, because Netflix did not have all the seasons. I also did watch it dubbed, and I absolutely loved Haikyuu. I thought it was amazing. Now I had started the Haikyuu anime before, and this was when at the time they only had 1 season, but I had never actually completed the entire show. So my fiance and I decided to sit down and watch it. If you've never seen Haikyuu, it is a sports anime, but it is dealing with volleyball, and it's basically about a volleyball team that kind of goes from them being like the weakest team to pretty much being a team that is utterly amazing. Highly recommend watching it if you're someone that is a fan of sports anime, because this one, to me at least, is one of the best ones that I've seen in a really long time. I believe you can watch it on VRV, and I believe they have about, I think, 3 seasons in total, 3 or 4 seasons in total. I can't entirely remember, but yeah. That one is probably definitely one of the favorites that I definitely watched this year, and I'm so happy that I decided to check it out again and watch it from the beginning to end. The second one I have on this list is one that I haven't read the manga for yet, but I did check out the anime, and the anime is on Amazon Prime or Prime Video, and that is Wataki or Watoki. I always say that incorrectly. Love is hard for otaku. And so this was a romance-y shoujo anime that I'd heard a lot about, and I was very interested in watching it. Basically, it's about these 4 adults and basically just their love lives. And it's great because of the 4 adults, it's pretty much 2 couples. And it's a lot of, I don't want to say adult situations, but definitely a much more mature relationship with these 2 couples. And also they are such nerds with each other. Like, they're into gaming and manga and anime. And I absolutely loved watching it, because as someone who is a nerd myself, and for me and my fiance, we're both nerds, that it was kind of great to be able to sit down for me to watch this and kind of like relate to the female character in a lot of ways. And I absolutely loved it. I highly recommend checking it out. I hopefully do plan to read the manga soon, because I've heard really good things about the manga. So I hope to read it soon, like I said, as well. But I definitely recommend checking out the anime if you haven't already. The third one I have on this list is actually a movie. And it's a movie that my fiance and I ended up watching. It actually was the first movie that we watched in theaters after like the whole pandemic, even though it's still ongoing. But it was the first time we've been in a movie theater since the pandemic had began. And that was Demon Slayer Mugen Train, which of course is the continuation from Demon Slayer season 1. So we both had watched Demon Slayer season 1, and then I had found out about the movie coming out. He's been reading the manga, my fiance that is. So we were like, we definitely want to check out watching the movie, and I enjoyed it so much. It was so good. It made me cry. I was so sad. And as far as my fiance has told me, it did follow the manga pretty closely, and so I highly recommend watching it. I know at this point they have came out with Demon Slayer season 2, which kind of pretty much follows the movie, if I'm not mistaken. Feel free in the comments below to correct me if I'm incorrect about this, but like I said, if you haven't seen the movie, I definitely recommend checking it out. It's so good. I believe you can see the movie on Funimation's app if you have like an Apple TV or your phone or tablet or however. You can definitely watch it on there, and I believe you can also purchase it on like digitally. So I know like for us, I believe we purchased it through Apple like movies, so we do have it Such a good movie. Definitely recommend watching it. And I actually was completely shocked that they decided to do the next arc as a movie instead of it doing it as a series at that point in time. Still am kind of shocked about that, but definitely don't regret watching it whatsoever. The third one I have on this list is one that I didn't think that I was going to watch, but because of me reading the manga, I decided to check out the anime, and that is Library Wars. So I actually ended up reading this manga as a part of a readathon. And then after reading it, I decided to check out the anime because I didn't know anything about this manga or anything about this anime, so I decided to check it out. Basically what it's about they're living in a time where pretty much books are being extremely censored. So the main female character basically works like in a society, or basically works for like a military for basically books, where they basically are there protecting books that people can read or check out and things like that. And so they're still battling though against the government when it comes to censorship for particular books. And it's kind of like a romance thing too, because she has a commanding officer and she has a prince that saved her when she was younger. And it's just such an amazing manga, such an amazing anime. I do highly recommend the manga more so than the anime because the manga just has a lot more to it compared to the anime. And there's certain parts in the anime, like I said, that they don't show that are in the manga. Or there's certain parts in the manga that they don't show in the anime, if that makes sense. But I still recommend checking it out. I believe you can watch this still on VRV. I did watch it subtitled, and it's a great show. Like I said, recommend watching, especially if someone that's into like shoujo anime or shoujo manga, and definitely if you want a little bit more to a show besides just the lovey-dovey cutesy aspect. And the last anime I have on this list is one that I had to put on here, and that is Fruits Basket Season 3. So, of course, like maybe you guys know, Fruits Basket was a show that came out years ago, didn't actually finish, and they finally decided to reboot it. And Season 3 is the final season of Fruits Basket, and basically it leaves you with the ending that all of us wanted to finally see from Fruits Basket. The main premise of Fruits Basket is about a girl named Toru Honda who pretty much comes across the Soma family and then finds out their secret that when they are hugged by the opposite sex, they will turn into members of the Chinese zodiac. So like the dog, the rat, the cow, you know, the dragon, so on and so forth. And basically she's kind of unraveling this mystery about like why they turn into these animals, and she starts to learn a lot of the individuals that do turn into these animals, the backstory, kind of like how this has changed like their own like family dynamics and things like that, a lot of the issues that are going on. And I really enjoyed being able to watch Season 3 because, like I said, I enjoyed the original anime so much, and I really hated that it didn't have an ending, so I had to then go on and read the manga to find out what was going to happen next. So finally being able to watch the last season, see like basically how the manga ended in animated form was great. It did get very emotional and kind of heavy in some parts, but it still was a really good show to watch. So I highly recommend watching it if you haven't watched Fruits Basket already, to definitely watch it. I prefer the dub. The dub is utterly amazing. They actually brought back all of the original dub characters for the new dub when they decide to reboot Fruits Basket. So definitely was super excited about that. And if you want to watch it, it is on Funimation, both the subtitled and also the dub version. So definitely check it out if you haven't already. So yeah, those are the 5 anime that I enjoyed watching during 2021. So now let us get into manga. And on here so far, I think I have about 4 mangas on here in total. I was going to do 5, but I couldn't think of a 5th one. So yeah, I currently only have 4. The first one I have on this list is Blue Flag, which for me is actually my first ever like boy love manga that I've ever read. No hate towards boy love. I have no issues with it. I just never found a boy love manga that I was that interested in reading until I picked up Blue Flag. And I really liked it. Basically, it's these 2 boys that are in high school, and kind of you have 2 of these characters, at least one of them that is struggling with his sexuality, and the other one who, you know, you're not yet for sure about like how he kind of feels. So it's basically the ups and downs of high school, kind of the ups and downs of these characters and them trying to figure out their feelings, as well as one character who's pretty much, you know, yeah, one of the main characters who's basically like a macho guy, and him having to kind of deal with the fact that he's not outed, and he's pretty much struggling with being in love with his best friend, but not knowing like where his best friend pretty much kind of stands. It's a great manga. I thought it was very heartfelt, and I really, you know, felt for these two characters, especially the character whom like people thought so much of, and the one that people thought like, oh, he's going to be getting all the girls, when in reality he was really struggling with his sexuality and coming to terms with it, and not being ready for other people to really know what his sexuality was, especially in high school. And I think that's something that, while I myself did not have to deal with that, I know that there are a lot of people out there who have had to deal with that, especially in high school, where they haven't yet been ready for other people to know what their sexuality was. So being able to read about a character that was struggling with that was really eye-opening for me. So I definitely recommend reading Blue Flag if you haven't already. I actually read it on the Viz Media manga app, so I definitely recommend reading it on there if you haven't already. It was actually, I'm not for sure if it was available with a subscription or if it was something that I actually had to purchase volume by volume, but regardless, definitely recommend reading it if you have not read a boy love manga before, or if you want to read a boy love manga that has like a really great like plot to it and that can get very emotional. The next manga I have on this list is Library Wars, which I already talked about because of it also being an anime favorite that I had for 2021, so I had to put the manga on there. There's not much more I can say about it. Just read it. Definitely recommend reading it if you haven't already. I believe to read Library Wars, it is on the Viz Media manga app, I believe. So yes, definitely read it if you haven't already. That's all I'm going to say. Next one I have on this list is Peach Girl Next, which is a manga that I actually have been wanting to read for a really long time. So Peach Girl Next is basically the sequel to Peach Girl, and it basically takes place 10 years after Peach Girl had ended. So basically it actually brings back a lot of the same characters that we know and love from the original Peach Girl. So you have Momo, you have Kairi, you have Toji, and of course you also have Sai. So basically you have where Momo and pretty much Kairi are kind of in a state of their relationship where they've been together a super long time, they're not yet married, and they're kind of trying to figure out in a way like what's next for them. Kairi is kind of like doing his job, doing his own thing. Him and Momo are still together, and he's kind of trying to make sure that he has enough finances for the future for him and Momo, which is something that a lot of couples a lot of the times want to further their relationship along, but also want to make sure their finances are together. So I greatly related to what Kairi was trying to do. Of course, Sai is back in the picture, and of course she is causing all sorts of havoc. And you also see Toji return as well. There is nothing but drama involved in this entire manga, but it's so great to read it. And I liked all the drama that was involved. And there's a little bit of a, not a twist, but there's a part in the manga towards the end where you really start to think it's going to go a particular way, and then it doesn't. And so I definitely recommend reading it if you're someone that enjoyed the Peach Girl manga, the original Peach Girl manga. And so I definitely recommend reading the sequel. Now the sequel, as far as I know of or was able to find out, does not have any printed copy, so it is available digitally. And I read it via iBooks. So depending on what type of device you have, you should probably read it digitally on any kind of digital reading app that you have available to you. For me, it was iBooks. For you, it might be something else if you have Android, or you can try using Kindle, although I don't know if Kindle has Peach Girl Next available on there, but definitely check it out if you haven't just yet. And the last and final one that I have on this list is Suzuka. Now, I decided to put Suzuka on this list only because of the fact that I had watched the anime years ago and did not like it. I did not like the Suzuka anime whatsoever. I thought it was just such a, not a weird show, but there was just really, it was boring, I guess is the best way for me to put it. So I decided to read the manga because my fiance highly recommended me to read it. And I read it and I enjoyed it. And to me, I felt like the manga had a lot more sustenance to it, because in the anime, it's so caught up on the fact that you have basically these two characters that are in high school. They're both decide to be on the track team. Suzuka is like an all-around amazing runner. Akitsuki ends up going to her high school, falls in love with Suzuka, and then joins the track team basically because of her. And as soon as found out that Akitsuki looks a lot like her ex, like identical. And in the anime, that was literally all they focused on. But in the manga, it had so much more than that. Like, it wasn't just the fact that they looked alike, because they did touch on that aspect, but it wasn't like heavily like just pounded into your head that they looked alike. It's like they talked about it, they glossed over it, that was it, it was over. To me though, it was still a lot more of a typical high school romance with a lot of push and pull. I still don't like Suzuka as a character though. Suzuka really got on my nerves, but I did like a lot of the other characters involved. I enjoyed Akitsuki. I like seeing Akitsuki kind of grow up and him get a little bit more mature as the story progressed. So I recommend reading it if you've watched the anime and didn't enjoy it, because the Suzuka manga has a lot more to it, and the Suzuka manga definitely gives you a lot more insight into the relationship between Akitsuki and Suzuka and kind of the push and pull that they have there with each other. So definitely read it if you haven't already. So yeah, that's pretty much what I have for today. That's pretty much the last manga that I have on this list. So overall, that is pretty much what I enjoyed reading and watching during 2021. I look forward to what I plan to read and watch during 2022. I will have a new video out for you guys on the 1st, and Happy New Year. Although by the time you guys watch this video, it won't be New Year's just yet. But I will have a new video out for you guys on the 1st, which is on a Saturday. And in that new video, I actually talk about some of the new changes that will be coming to this channel. And so I look forward to explaining that to you guys and talking to you guys about it. So links below to all my social media accounts. I have an Instagram, a Twitter, and of course a TikTok. So please check me out on there if you haven't already. And of course, if you guys video, give it a thumbs up. And of course, please subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys soon with a new video, like I said, on Saturday. And like I always tell you guys, stay positive, stay nerdy, and today's day and age, stay healthy. And of course, please stay safe. All right, you guys.